solid FPS here, and in this video I'll be going over my endgame ultimate bunny build in the first Descendant. If you only have regular bunny, don't worry, you can still follow along since I'm not using any exclusive ultimate bunny only mods in this build. She's definitely one of the meta choices for AoE farming and pairs extremely well with the Thunder Cage SMG. So if you're looking for an ultra efficient character to invest a lot of time into, this is definitely it. With that said, let's get into it. You may be wondering, what is the difference between bunny and ultimate bunny? Let's take a look. At level 40, bunny has 1488 defense, 380 shield, 648 HP, and 300 MP. At level 40, ultimate bunny has 1767 defense, 404 shield, 810 HP, and 300 MP. Ultimate bunny also has access to two more Transcendent mods, high voltage and electric charge. Ultimate bunny also came with two more catalyzed mod slots over regular bunny, so it should only take 6 to 7 more catalysts to completely max out your loadout. So is Ultimate Bunny worth it? Between the base stat increase and access to the high voltage mod, I think she's worth it if you plan on maining her as your speed farming character. For this build, we only care about skills 2 and 3, since those are what defines Bunny as an S tier speed farmer. Speed of Light is Bunny's speed boost, which constantly drains MP while running. Lightning Emission is Bunny's main AoE attack, and it triggers based on your movement. With Bunny's Bionic Fuel Transcendent mod, we can change the second skill to use HP instead of MP. We'll run slightly slower, but that's fine because this is how we get infinite sprint all the time. This drops from hard mode Frostwalker. In this slot, I just use Shock Punch for plus 10 mod capacity, but I never press my melee key. You can sub out any melee or grapple mod into here based on what you prefer. Our goal with Bunny's third skill is to have 100% uptime and maximum range. 100% uptime on Bunny's third skill is achieved with a combination of skill cooldown and skill duration bonuses so that the cooldown of the skill is less than or equal to the duration of the skill. Max range on Bunny's third skill is 21 meters, and you get that by stacking up the 200% skill range. With this much range, you can clear things through walls, ceilings, floors, and even take out all the bubbles in the obstructor fight. It's incredible. Bunny's third skill is tagged as both electric and singular, so I use focus on electric, focus on singular, and time distribution. These mods give us cooldown reduction, HP, and two different skill power multipliers that boost the damage of lightning emission. I also use skill expansion and maximize range to increase skill range. Between all of these mods and my reactor, which has skill duration and skill range on it, I keep lightning emission up all the time and have it smoke everything at max range. For survivability, we only stack HP and defense because shields aren't great. When you kill lots of mobs with AoE, they drop health, but they don't drop anything that gives you shields back. So you can stay alive by playing aggressively and vacuuming up health as needed. By adding increased HP, Stim Accelerant, and Agony, we can maximize our HP and get a little defense too. Agony is a mod you could replace with Frugal Mindset if your reactor doesn't have range. Or you could take it a step further and drop 2 more catalysts to add more capacity in the melee slot and change the symbol and agony slot to put in a bigger raw defense mod if you really wanted to overinvest. Finally, we're at the luxury mods that really make this loadout feel good. Since we're constantly draining HP, HP Collector gives us another way to sustain ourselves instead of just relying on health pickups. And then we also have Walk a Tightrope for more DPS when we're below half HP. I think in general this mod is best in slot since it buffs both the skills and guns. I've tried a few of the other mods like Dangerous Ambush and Technique Manual, but they just didn't feel necessary with how hard we've already scaled our AoE damage. With mods sorted out, let's get into the gear. Bunny's third skill is tagged as Electric Singular, so we need an Electric Singular reactor to maximize our damage. The substats on your reactor could help your build scale and remove the need for certain mods, opening up other possibilities. For Bunny, I prefer a combination of skill duration, skill cooldown, or skill range. This one rolled with more than enough duration and range, so I'm already good to go. On top of that, if we use a gold reactor, we need to pick a weapon that makes the most sense to have out in our hands to meet the mounting condition for 60% more skill power. For this build, we'll pair our reactor with the Thunder Cage since SMGs give us more movement speed over heavier weapons like ARs and LMGs. And this SMG is best in class with high base crit damage, and some weak point multiplier. Components that start dropping in the endgame from hard mode Void Intercepts. I use the Annihilation set, which drops from hard mode Devour because of the skill duration and synergy with the constant HP drain from Bionic Fuel. You might be thinking, but why not the Electric set from Executioner? After using that set, I think it's bait for Bunny players to choose that over this. This set always drops to HP and defense as core stats, which makes it a lot better than the other sets that have shield as a fixed core stat. The proc on the electric set isn't even that great when you could get more single target DPS from shooting your gun instead with the attack boost from this set. Anyways, for rolls, each component slot has a small set of stats it's allowed to roll. We can't keep farming until we get HP and defense everywhere, it doesn't work like that. More HP and defense is priority on components, so look for a good HP roll in this slot. And in this slot, look for a good defense roll. In all the other slots, take whatever you prefer like extra drop rate or extra XP gain. Between mods and components, this build sits at 18,000 defense and 15.5k HP, which is more than enough survivability for most endgame content currently. If you feel like you need more for void intercepts, you could swap out some range for defense, and maybe even throw in a status immunity mod depending on what you're fighting. Moving on to our main weapon, I have Thunder Cage rolled with attack, crit rate, crit damage, and Colossus attack. I got really lucky rerolling the last stat here while working on this video, but to me, this is one of the more optimal rolls for single target DPS against the Colossus. Since it takes so long to grind for other weapons and catalysts, my other two weapon slots usually just hold random weapons to soak in weapon proficiency. During the story, I liked using scout rifles, hand cannons, and sniper rifles, so eventually we'll have some good ones to swap to. Building a gun for DPS is pretty straightforward once you understand which stats scale what on the weapon you're modding. The first step is getting attack up. At 100% more attack, you're now doing double damage. The next thing we'll scale is crit chance and crit damage because Thunder Cage has high base crit stats. Let's say you add a crit rate mod for 100% more crit rate on a weapon with 20% base crit rate. You're going to end up with 40% crit rate. Mods are multiplying what is already there, so the more a gun has of something, the more you're going to get when you mod for it. This blue fire rate mod makes the Thunder Cage go from 666 RPM to 888 RPM, so I guess this mod gives more than it should for some reason. Bug or typo, I don't know, but this mod definitely beats the purple fire rate mods. Some mods like Weak Point don't inflate the DPS number on the left. This is why it's important to understand how stats work under the hood, instead of blindly trusting the in-game DPS in any game like this. If you can hit your weak point shots, and you should, Colossus are huge, weak point is another damage multiplier that we need to dip into. Now on to the more interesting stuff. Real life fighter didn't seem like anything special until you max it out. This mod gives up to 100% more attack as long as you're hitting your shots on weak points. As far as I'm concerned, this mod is so free it's unreal. You're using an SMG, you're fighting a big boss with huge weak points, all you gotta do is roll up near him and blast their weak points. And finally, after adding all the attack boosting mods, the last thing I could do to add more damage was adding one of these bullet improvement mods. No particular reason why I chose electric, it's just what matched the symbol I had since I was running something else before making this video. These elemental bullet mods seem like they can actually add a ton of DPS if the rest of your weapon is already juiced and if the Colossus you're fighting is weak to it. In my limited testing, this mod was responsible for another 15 to 20% total damage increase against Devourer who is weak to electric. In this gameplay clip, I'm up against hard mode Devourer who is weak to electric. He's the one who drops the components we want, so I figured I'd use him as a quick target dummy for this video. This fight is a good example of how the Thunder Cage shreds up close against those big bosses with huge weak points. The only remaining flaw is having to reload, so could you imagine if I took my Thunder Cage and used it on Glay with infinite ammo? Anyways, that's pretty much it for the build video for both my Ultimate Bunny and my Thunder Cage. I don't main YouTube, but I enjoy grinding this game on stream for now. It's been keeping me very busy so far. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it useful, and if you did, like and subscribe for future content or swing by the Twitch stream when I'm live. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.